Hey there, welcome to the Not Just Mama podcast, the show where we talk about building businesses, chasing dreams, raising little yous, and keeping it real through all the chaos. We're diving into mindset, motivation, and all things mompreneur life, all while microwaving our coffee for the 20 millionth time. I'm your host, Heather Madsen, a dream-chasing mompreneur who knows exactly what it's like to juggle big ambitions with a million daily tasks. Because let's be honest, we're not just moms. We're wives, we're partners, we're daughters, friends, creators, dreamers, and so much more. And just because we're raising little tiny humans doesn't mean we have to put our dreams on the back burner. We deserve to chase them, build something incredible, and make a difference, all while being amazing moms. So go ahead and nuke that coffee once again and get comfy, because we're diving in. Hey there. So today we are diving into what it means when something feels impossible to get or to make happen. And I think we all know that feeling, right? Like it's something that we are forcing so hard and nothing seems to be flowing with ease, right? It's almost as if you're pushing two repelling magnets together, and no matter how much you try, the two just won't meet. Well, here's the honest truth about that, okay? If the thing that you're pushing toward is starting to feel that way, like it's impossible, like it's resistant, it might not be right for you. Okay, so I want to take you back to a time when my husband and I, we were determined to buy this truck, okay? And we'd been looking for one for a while, and the one we finally found seemed perfect. And it was just beautiful, right? Brand new truck. And we had these big eyes for it, like any new truck you see, right? But from the moment we set out to go buy it, it felt like everything started going wrong. And I mean, we had an ideal monthly payment in mind with a good interest rate since we both had really good credit. But it seemed as though we needed to jump through so many hoops, and especially when it came to the financing. It was a lot of back and forth with the bank, things that they needed, questions that they had, right? And it dragged on for what seemed like days. Whereas before, it seemed to only take one day and everything flowed with ease when we had bought a vehicle in the past. And I mean, everything that could get in our way did. And it left us feeling exhausted, defeated, and just tired. And we were just like, why is it so hard to get this truck? Like, I don't understand. I mean, that was going through my head a lot. But instead of seeing it as a sign, I kept telling myself, push through it, be persistent, be patient, make it happen. It'll happen, right? And we did that. We pushed through it. We were persistent and we were patient, or we tried to be, and we made it happen. And eventually we got the truck. But guess what? From the moment we brought it home, things kept going wrong with it, like weird accidents, unexpected costs, and a bit of bad luck in our lives, honestly, involving it. And it was like the truck came with bad energy. And I can't even describe to you how odd it all turned out. And honestly, you guys, it was no longer exciting to have this brand new truck. I should be excited, right? But I wasn't excited about it anymore. I mean, it was just, like I said, bad energy. And it was frustrating more than anything. I mean, I was totally out of energy with it all. I was exhausted from it. And, you know, just thinking about it made me feel terrible. But, you know, that is how I thought it was meant to be. But really, looking back now, I think we were never meant to have it. It was just out of alignment with us and in the time of life we were in. And so eventually we got rid of the truck and got one that was a little older, but felt easier to get, and things just flowed. There were no roadblocks whatsoever. So yeah, looking back now, I realize just because you can force something to happen doesn't mean you should. Okay. So let's talk about how to recognize the misalignment in your life and what to do instead. So the first thing I want to point out is alignment usually feels a little hard, right? But it feels light and easy. But resistance feels heavy and forced. Like it's a big burden. So look, nothing worth doing is easy, right? Nothing in life is easy. If we want something, we have to go for it and put in a little effort. It doesn't just come to us, right? But there's a difference between a healthy challenge and then a soul-sucking resistance. It's like pushing a shopping cart with a busted wheel or one that just stops. I don't know if you guys have stores where the shopping carts just stop because it thinks you stole something. I mean, you can do it. You can keep pushing that cart, but every step is a struggle and is extra frustrating if it's loud and squeaky to the point where the whole store can hear where you're at. And not only is it frustrating, it wears you out way faster than it should. Or, another example is trying to force a toddler to nap when they've already decided in their heads that it's a nope day. I mean, you keep trying, but nothing's about to give. And it sucks. You know they need the nap, but they just don't want it. And I have been there. I remember those days. But yeah, when you're aligned, things still take a little effort, but it feels lighter, more flowy, almost like you're moving with something, like you're going down a river with the current instead of against it, right? And when it works, it's kind of a breath of fresh air, honestly. So for me, alignment shows up in my body. If something is off, I feel that heavy, in my chest or stomach, right? It feels painful. And then you can almost feel just the stress building up in your body, your stomach. Maybe your belly starts hurting. I know I get that way when I feel stressed. And I mean, it's subtle, but it's real. It's there. You can feel it. I mean, have you ever felt that way? And ignoring it never works out well, okay? Like I said in my little story about the truck, I forced it, we got it, and then things kept happening where it was just bad juju, right? So yeah, alignment to me feels like you're just floating on a cloud. It's easy. It comes to you. You have to put in very little effort, but it's easy effort. You're just doing the steps that you need to take to get in alignment. All right. So going after something that you want is easy. It's as easy as walking into a store and just buying it. Right. But yeah, ignoring the resistance never works out well. Trust me. So let's talk about the 3 signs that you are out of alignment. Okay. So let's break down a few key signs and see if you're feeling them right now. Okay. So number 1, you are always drained by it. Even thinking about it zaps your energy. And that's how I felt with that truck. Every time I thought about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, you just get this bad feeling come over you. And honestly, it was also the same feeling I had with this business software that I created and tried to build that I was passionate about because of the solution I found in my own life. But when it came to teaching it, it didn't feel like me. And I was constantly fatigued by the idea of working on it. And I mean, it took me 3 years to create it. That's how long it took me. And it should never take you that long if it feels easy. If you're feeling resistance towards it, you're dreading it, you're dreading recording it, and you're dreading coming up with the content, it's out of alignment. Right? I mean, I was just constantly exhausted by it. And even though it looked successful when I finally finished it and released it, it didn't excite me, because it just felt like this heavy burden that I had to teach it. And that's not a way to create a business, right? We want to create a business that works around us and how we feel and what we love. And what we love should be very easy to teach, okay? We should enjoy it. We should see light in it, right? But if you're feeling heavy, you're feeling fatigued, you're feeling just a lot of resistance towards doing that thing, you might be out of alignment, okay? Number 2, you constantly second guess it. I mean, there is no peace in your decisions, okay? You find yourself back and forth wondering if you're crazy, asking for 100 opinions, maybe, right? Or journaling the same question over and over again, okay? I've been there. If you're just like back and forth on the fence, like, is this for me? I don't know if I'm doing a good job. I don't know if I'm saying this right. I don't know if I'm teaching this right, you know? But yeah, if you're constantly second guessing it, wondering if you're in the right business, I mean, just questioning your business in general, right? You might be out of alignment. And number 3, it steals your joy. If you are no longer excited for your business or inspired by it or inspired to create the business around it, you might be out of alignment, even if it used to light you up, okay? And let me tell you, if it used to light you up and you no longer feel that way, it might be time to pivot. It might mean that you're out of alignment and you need to switch directions into something that you feel great about. And let me tell you, I once launched a program, my first online course, that felt more like an obligation in the end than a passion. And guess what? My energy showed in my course videos and my sales. I was making sales, but I had the mindset where it felt hard and resistant, right? And when you are in the mindset where you feel like it's hard and you don't really love what you're doing, the sales will plummet. Okay. And so my alignment with my program really showed. But when I shifted to something that I loved, something that I discovered that I loved, and I had a very big passion for, the difference was night and day, you guys. So I want you to pay attention to the way something makes you feel, okay? And when you feel that way, you shouldn't just ignore it and keep going. It's honestly God and the universe just giving you honest feedback. So if you are nodding along and thinking, oh no, this might be me, I don't want you to panic, okay? Instead, let's see if we can find some clarity in it all and ask ourselves some honest questions, okay? So the first question I want you to ask yourself is what I'm doing or what I want aligned with the season of life I'm in? What worked before might not work now, okay? We go through different life changes, okay? Maybe we're in one stage of life where we're stuck in a job that we hate, right? And then we decide that we need a change. And then we go into another phase of our life. And maybe in that phase of our life, we're going through trauma. Things happen and not for the good. Okay. And it's time to then shift again and then go to another phase of life where you are recovering. And this is just all an example. Okay. But my point is your capacity changes. So what worked before might not work now. Okay. What worked in the season of life where you were in a job that you didn't like isn't working now. And it happens to every single one of us. Your priorities shift, and that's okay. So yeah, just get clear with that answer, okay? Determine if what you're doing and what you want is aligned with your current season in life. All right, the second question I want you to ask yourself is, am I doing this because I want it or because I think I should want it? And right now, I want you to break up with the shoulds, okay? Should is not the reason to dedicate your time, your energy, and your heart into something. Sometimes the thing that you think is right for you is the very thing that will leave you drained and exhausted. Are you doing what you're doing because you want it or because you think you should want it? Okay. And I want you to get very clear on that answer. All right. And the last question I want you to ask yourself is, what would feel lighter, truer, or more energizing to you right now? And let your answer lead you, even if it surprises you. What in your life right now has been bringing you nothing but burnout, dread, and even the very thought of it makes you feel sick to your stomach, sort of thing, okay? And And what can you do right now, today, to change the circumstances so that it feels lighter, it feels easier, and flows or clicks with ease, okay? Sort of like two magnets that do attract, okay? That would feel easy, right? So sometimes that answer won't look like your big shiny goal that you've been going for, but may bring you a path that is easier and still gets you to your goal, okay? Sometimes it looks like rest from the very thing that drains you, or sometimes it's a pivot, a complete change from what you're currently doing. And sometimes it's permission to not do the thing anymore. And let me tell you, sometimes letting go of the things that don't serve you any longer can feel like a huge weight off the shoulders. Okay, I've felt that so many times. So I want you to give yourself permission to shift from things that are out of alignment. So this part is actually really important, okay? Because you're not quitting, you're just choosing better. I want you to let go of the if I just push harder, it'll work mentality, okay? We've been conditioned to believe that grit alone equals success, but that's all it is grit. The grit of sandpaper. I'm just kidding. But anyways, while perseverance is truly important, alignment matters way, way more. And sometimes letting go of something that brings resistance will show the path to something that brings you true abundance and joy. And you might even look back on that instant and think to yourself, man, I'm really glad I didn't choose that. I know I felt that many times. But think of it this way with this analogy. You can plant the best seeds in the world, but if you're trying to grow them in concrete, nothing is going to happen. I mean, maybe a tiny leaf will pop through the crack if there's a crack, but find your soil. Find the space that supports your growth. And when you find that space, that's where your roots will take hold and it'll grow with ease. And you won't see just one leaf, you will see many and maybe even a flower. And all the work that it takes to grow that flower feels good and light and it pays off. You know, it's very rewarding. It just doesn't leave you feeling heavy. And that's when you know you're in alignment. All right, guys. So if today's episode hit home for you, I would love to hear from you. You can email me at support@course-roots.com and let me know if you're feeling either resistance or ease in what you're currently going through or doing in your own life right now. Also, don't forget to share and hit subscribe and subscribe to my email list so you don't miss any upcoming episodes, news, or just encouragement in general. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And remember, if something feels impossible, it might not be for you, or it might just be wrong for you right now. You are allowed to pivot. You are allowed to choose peace in what you do. And you're allowed to build something beautiful your own way that feels good and easy and natural to you. Building your dream shouldn't feel impossible, and you shouldn't feel resistance doing it. All right, remember, you're not just a mom. You are so much more. And I want you to go chase those dreams that feel effortless, okay? And if all else fails, just survive till bedtime. All right, we'll see you guys next time.